Welcome back, guys. Nick here. This is going to be another market analysis review following up this past week. So for those of you guys that don't know, every single week at the beginning of the week on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll do what we call the Sunday Market Blitz, which is like the pre-market analysis. And then at the end of the week, we'll review all the analysis, see how we did, see how things played out, and then just recap things with you guys. So let's get started here. We're going to start off with DXY. This is how we start off the Blitz as well. And we don't actually trade this. It's just the US dollar strength. We like to be aware of the trend because the dollar is a major driver in the market. It makes up for 80% of all trade, safe haven currency of the world, and so on. So it's good to be aware of what the dollar is doing. If I were to, describe this method, I would really say we're using DXY here as an indicator, right? We're not really basing trades off of DXY, but we want to be aware of the trends, so that we can, use that as an indication on, USD pairs especially. Okay, so what is DXY doing? What has it been doing? And what does it look like it's going to do for the week ahead? So it was overall bullish. We had seen that we saw some sort of reversal here around 103. Price action fell a little bit and was pulling back up, seemingly retesting 103. So from here, we wanted to see if it was going to continue, which means we would have had to confirm a lower high here, see price action head lower, start giving us some strong bearish setups. But for us to continue bullish, we need to get back above 103 and actually see structure in the form of a higher low above the zone. Then it would be really clear that bullish pressure on DXY is not done yet. The dollar is still to push higher, maybe new highs, we'll see. But let's play it forward and see how that last week played out. And we failed to get rejection, so we failed to get a lower high below 103. Instead, price action pushed through that. These large bullish candles right here really pushed above 103. Now we're looking for, that high to form and then structure to follow. So the dollar's still bullish, guys. I really thought it was going to tank. This had a good amount of momentum on it. I really wanted to see 100 support level hit. Obviously that didn't happen. So, more bullishness out of this past week. And, it looks like it will be for the week ahead as well. But we'll reanalyze that on Sunday. And, of course, give you guys new setups. So let's jump over to AU. What did AU do last week? So we saw that it was very bullish. We were at a key zone, 0.725, and this was kind of the last level of resistance considering the daily time frame still bearish. So if we broke above this zone, the daily time frame is now bullish, right? So this is a really key zone. This is where that last daily lower high was, right at this zone. So this is really like the be-all, end-all zone. We wanted to see either a bounce or break, and only then would we make decisions. Right, so to continue bullish, we need to see structure above 0.725. So price action pushes above, gives us good presence in the zone, a new higher high, pulls back, gives us higher low, reverses, start pushing up again. Either way, we just want to see good rejection off support. Okay, so that's the bullish scenario. For us to consider this bearish, the first thing we needed to see was this 4-hour channel end. Right, meaning price action breaks lower, we see a lower high below, new structure, and then we can start targeting support levels on the way down. So let's see how price action played out last week. And it followed exactly like we thought, right? It did consolidate a little bit, but we did get a lower high below 0.72 right over here. And it retested again with a nice follow-up engulfing. There were entries all in here, and we would have targeted down towards support, and then we got a break and retest again, continuing all the way down towards 0.7. So price action definitely went with trade path 2, but we can see here that this is a nice transition, right? We were bullish, nice bullish trend. Price action made its last bullish attempt at 0.725. Then we consolidated, started getting some lower highs, then conviction kicked in, right? So really easy to follow price action here, and you would have been rewarded in some good trade setups. Okay, I know we covered this quite a bit in the member sessions and even pretty early in the week on the public Discord event. This was on our radar. Okay, so good job on AU. Again, went with trade path 2. Newly bearish on the 4-hour. We'll see how that is going to play out for the week ahead. Again, we'll reanalyze it. So look for it tomorrow, Sunday Market Blitz. It'll be all of these pairs that I'm covering right now will be completely new analysis looking ahead to the next week. Okay, so what's AJ? What did AJ do last week? What was the idea for it on Sunday? We saw that AJ was extremely bullish, right? We broke 91 resistance. It rallied straight to 95. So from here, we really couldn't do much. We need to see more price action. There's a complete lack of structure, right? Price action hasn't pulled back yet. There's really no consolidation. So there's not much price action to base anything on, right? We can't base a trade setup with lack of, price action, lack of structure. We need to see that. So the one idea was price action pulls back to 92.85, which is 38.2 or 38.2 fib level. Would have been nice to see some consolidation there, some rejection, and then a continuation of this bullish trend. If that happens, we would consider long entry somewhere in here, again, depending on how price action plays out. Now, for us to consider short scenarios, I need to see structure below 92.85, and this would essentially be a larger time frame retracement, but we're focusing on the 4-hour bearish trend, where we're strictly looking to enter on lower highs. And then we would target 91 support, which is a higher time frame zone. That would be our max level, and then we reanalyze from there. Okay, but I mean, this is so overextended for price action to pull back to 91. If we're getting a very strong apparent 4-hour bearish trend, there will be short scenarios there. Okay, but let's see how it played out. And it followed neither of these paths, right? Instead, it chose to stay bullish. It decided it wasn't done pushing. We formed a new high just shy of 97 resistance right here, and then price action pulled back. Now we're at 95 support again. So we're gonna have to see if this zone, price action will react to this zone either as a break or a bounce. Okay, so this will require a full analysis, and we'll get to that. Pretty sad to see though. I mean, this is just pumping with volume. Not every single week you'll find a trade on every pair you're analyzing. Sometimes these pairs like to make these dramatic moves. Price action has to calm down, and then a trade setup will eventually present itself. But yeah, high volume stuff is tricky, and we've been seeing a lot of that lately. So let's move over to UJ. This one's not much better. I just know this has been super bullish, high volume stuff. Really hard to find structure. We've been struggling with this one. It's been at the bottom of my watch list for quite a while now. But let's see what UJ was doing. So we had identified two major zones here, right? 131 resistance, where we saw some consolidation form and hold price action over here, and then 127.5, where we saw this swing, this bearish swing, brought price action down to there, and we also saw it confirm first as support all the way back here. So these are the two zones we've really been identifying price action bouncing between. And then we have a median zone right here at like 129. You can see there's tons of reaction in there as well. So we did see last Sunday, that price action pushed up pretty hard, all the way up to 131. And the most likely scenario here was that we were going to continue to range, right? We'd see some sort of reaction here. Price action would maybe consolidate, similar to over here, and then head lower. Okay, and I didn't include a long scenario here because on the daily time frame, if you guys zoom out, or if you guys scroll down and read down here a little bit, I go on to explain how this is extremely bullish. It's super overextended. We've yet to form structure on higher time frames, right? Beyond overextended. We desperately need structure formation for the daily, which is all the way down near 125 support. So here I'm saying we have to hit 125 support all the way down here for structure to be formed on the daily. Right? That's a far way away. Okay, and then which is a long way away, right? Trade scenario 2. I wouldn't recommend any long scenarios until we spot daily structure. So again, until 125 is spotted, and then we could see a nice bullish trend, then we'll consider long scenarios. But until then, it's super sketchy. So let's play it forward, see how price action played out. I mean, we already saw DXY, so we could have had an idea coming over to this, right? Super bullish. I mean, if you didn't already look at this through the week, super bullish. We're actually resting at 134 resistance, seeing a ton of consolidation. So will this be the the pullback we need? The fibs will now be drawn up a little higher. This is our new 0%. So naturally the 38.2 gets moved as well. Probably going to be closer to 125 or 127.5 for structure. So next week, is this going to be the pullback we've been waiting, or is it just going to keep surging to the upside with no rhyme or reason, right? No sustainability. Right, so we'll see something this week, but again, UJ is still going to be at the bottom of the watch list. It's so far from something happening. We just need more time, essentially. So it's going to be a tricky one. But yeah, that's UJ. Tough one to trade. Really sad to see. But that's trading. So let's jump over to EJ. Again, guys, not every single pair you analyze is going to pay out, right? We saw a great AU trade, super clean structure. Whereas AJ and UJ so far are kind of skewed due to volume. and that's the trade-off. Maybe next week or this week we won't see so many AU trades, and we'll see AJ play out or UJ play out. It's always like a give and takes. All right, so let's take a look at EJ here. What was EJ doing Sunday, and then how did it play out last week? Okay, so on last Sunday we saw that we had broken this ascending triangle as well as 137 resistance, and we had a new, pretty strong trend formed here. And this would have been an entry down here on this retest. Nice morning star, good conviction entry in there. And then at this point, by the time I analyzed this, we were looking for simply higher lows to enter on, right? We just want to see a nice continuation, strong characteristics of a 4-hour bullish trend, and enter on higher lows along the way. Now again, we did know it was an active trade, so that may not happen. This is more or less wishful thinking, just showing you guys an example as to what we would need to see in order to enter. But EJ is kind of tricky sometimes. One of the characteristics of EJ in particular is that whenever it chooses a direction, it really goes. Right, it runs till it hits its target, and then it'll pull back. So these, the lack of these pullbacks, even on this bit of a rally here, these small pullbacks, it's not too uncommon for EJ. Really, it'll give you the opportunity to enter, and then that's really it. It's going to hit its target, and it doesn't really care what anyone else is doing. You got in or you didn't. But this was the setup. So again, we're looking for higher lows. For us to consider this bearish again, we really needed to break back below 137 with a lower high below, so new structure. And that would be a nice transition from a new 4-hour bullish trend to a new 4-hour bearish trend, simply because of new structure below a major level. So let's see how this played out last week. And like I said, right, once it chooses its direction, it just goes, little to no pullbacks. It shot all the way to 144, pretty much to the pip. I mean, this is within like 15, 20 pips. Right at 144, so that's pretty spot on, dead on. So we reverse from there. Now it's heading back. We're gonna have to reanalyze, look for further long scenarios, or try to see if this is gonna drop down to lower support levels. This was a good trade, definitely an active trade from even before last Sunday. So this was like, what was this? The end of May 31st. This would have ventured on, and you would have closed somewhere over here around June 8th. So pretty long trade, definitely a swing trade, but it moved quite a bit. So from 137 to 144, that's a lot of pips. It's quite a big movement, even for EJ, right? Just heightened volume across the board. So that played out. Went with trade scenario 1. Again, we'll reanalyze and come up with some new scenarios for next week. Okay, let's wrap this up with gold. This is going to be the absolute final asset that I analyzed for you guys, and this one was a pretty good one this past week too. But let's just follow price action, see what the idea was, and then play it forward. So on the daily time frame, we were overall bearish. 1870 was the zone keeping overall price action bearish, right? So this means if price action broke above 1870, this zone here gave us higher low above, we are now looking more bullish on the daily time frame. As long as we're below 1870, we're looking more bearish on the daily time frame. So this is lower high territory. All this consolidation here, we're essentially waiting to see if this is going to continue bearish and confirm all of this as a daily lower high, just below, again, 1870. So that's what we're looking for, right? Lower highs below key levels, starting off with 1850, break below, lower high, and then a break below 1830, lower high, and so on and so on. For us to consider this bullish, like I said, we needed a break above 1870 with a higher low above. So let's play this forward, see how this played out. And this started off bearish, right? Dropped real well, pushed up, went to, kind of retest the zone, but it didn't follow through, right? Didn't give us a lower high, follow through the conviction that we wanted to see. So there was no trade entry there. Instead, we consolidated a little bit with this really bad excuse of candle formation, just doji after doji, wick after wick, really ugly stuff. Then the bear stepped in. We wicked 1830, went straight to 1870, and what do you know? We're still within this range, right? These two zones are still in play. Nothing broke yet. The daily time frame is still bearish. The 4-hour is ranging, so we have to see more. At this point, I can tell you, leading into this next week, we're looking for a bounce from here. It's either going to bounce from 1870, head back down to 1830, or we're going to break 1870 and see structure above. So next week's actually looking pretty good on this. You could tell already. I will remark this up. I will give you guys 2 new trade scenarios to work from. But yeah, I mean, this is gold. It didn't really follow either of these. You know, still got to be pretty much the same next week, waiting for this range to break and a direction to be chosen. But yeah, guys, there you have it. We covered DXY, AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, gold. We had some setups. AU was all right. EJ was an active trade that was still kind of playing out. Gold, not really great. Just ranging. A lot of mixed signals in there. UJ too much volume. AJ too much volume. So, you know, there's some give and take. But, you know, it's looking better this week. We'll probably have some better setups. So, looking forward to that, guys. But until then, enjoy the rest of the weekend. This is another market analysis review. Take care, guys.